Jedson, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
What an emotional roller coaster, man. Take a minute to describe what the last 48 hours have been like.
Well, you described it perfectly. It was an emotional roller coaster. The week in general was crazy. I really went through it, and I'm kind of happy to be out, and a lot of stress relief right now. I'm just trying to reflect and take it all in.
You're evicted, and then not really, and then you see Tera and Fake Double Eviction. Like, how are you feeling in that moment, man?
Oh, I mean, when it was coming up to the eviction and I knew I was going home, all I was praying for was a second chance, just to do things differently. And it came, honestly. Like, I saw that it was going to be a fake double eviction, and I was like, okay, this is my opportunity. I was extremely excited to just have that chance to get back into the house. And when I saw Tera, she started spilling all this tea to me, and it was emotional. Like, it was crazy. So we were both going into that competition, wanting the best for each other, and both wanting to get back into that house. And at that point, I was happy with whatever happened, but obviously, I really wanted to get back in there.
Fourth member of the jury, has it sunk in yet?
It is. It's just hitting me now. I mean, it's a bit surreal, just because it does feel like I was just in the house and I had that opportunity to get back in, and just my mentality of being such a competitor. Like, obviously I hate losing. So it's tough for me to be in the situation, knowing that I could have done things differently and not been in the situation. But at the end of the day, I'm happy that I even made it to the jury. A lot of people can't say the same. And I still know that I'm in the game and I have to make a big decision at the end.
Yeah, I mean, got to be surprised in the fact that after everything that's gone down with the house guest still in the game, you have a hand in deciding who wins.
Exactly. And I'm not taking that decision lightly. It's going to be a life-changing decision, and I know the gravity of it. So I'm definitely looking forward to being an objective juror, someone that looks at everything, the entire game, and I'm going to make sure that the best player wins and represents the season.
Will helping crown the champ be a difficult decision for you to make?
I mean, it really depends who's sitting up there. Depending on the combination and how those players played the game, it could be an easy decision for me. I think at this point, if Kiefer's up there, it's an easy decision for me. Any combination of the other four players, that's when it starts to get tough. And I'll really have to start looking at what they've done in the game, and especially what they did in the last 2 weeks.
Let's talk about your team in the house. You're in the jury because of them. So were you surprised that they voted to evict you?
Well, I'm surprised and I'm not surprised at the same time. I mean, when I made the move, when the move was presented to me by Tera to take Beth off the block and she'll put up Braden, I mean, it was a no-brainer for me. My whole goal in this game was to get my squad to the end, to the Final Four, to the Final Three, and that was my main focus. And in that moment, I said, yeah, I'm going to do it. I know it's never been done before, but I will do it. And once the week started going on and I was sitting on that block, I started to get that paranoia. I started to feel like people were changing and switching up, and that's when I started being surprised that they would do that to me after me putting my neck out to save them. So that was the most surprising thing for me.
What do you have to say to Ty, Beth, and Kiefer? Speak freely on each of them.
Yeah. Well, Kiefer, I got to say hats off, brother, because he orchestrated the plan to use my loyalty against me. He knew how loyal I was and how much of a selfless and team-first player I was. So he knew that if he told Tera about this plan to make me use the veto on Beth, that I would go for it, and he got me. So I got to say hats off to him, and that's all respect. When it comes to Ty, I know that he had a hand in it, but he wasn't the orchestrator. But at the end of the day, he knew that he can't beat me in the end of this game. There was no chance, and he couldn't beat me in competitions. His resume wasn't as good as mine, and he knew that I was tighter with Beth than him, so he had to get me out. So on a game level, I have to respect that as well. On a personal level, I always love the guy. He's one of my best friends in the house and a brother for life. So no wavering on our personal relationship. When it comes to Beth, I again, like, my relationship with her is extremely strong, and it always will be. She also knew that if I was in the game, her resume was wiped clean because everybody was attributing her moves to me. They thought that I made all the moves and just used her to make them. So I knew that if she wanted to win the game, she'd have to get me out eventually. I don't think she wanted to do it that early or in a dirty way like that. But at the end of the day, she had to save face with the crew. She knew she was going forward, and she had to do what was best for her game. So, like, all love and respect to all three of them. I'm proud to have played the game with them, and I knew that was a move.
Now, Tera revealed a lot to you in that HOH room. Why do you think she did it?
Well, I think she was feeling really bad in that moment, and she felt used. She felt like they all used her to get me out, which they did. And I think that she thought that by making that move, she would be getting in closer with them and earning some loyalty and trust. But when given the first opportunity, they cut her right away. So she was feeling very emotional. She felt used. She wanted to spill all the tea about everything that had happened that week. And I think at that point, she was kind of counting herself out when it came to the battle back competition. She was assuming that I would beat her, and she wanted me to know everything that they had done that past week so that if I got back in the house, I would have no friends, and I would just try to take them out as quick as possible.
Spicy B, Rohan, Tina, and now Jedson. What's that number one piece of intel you're looking for inside the jury house?
Oh, I mean, I'm just going to try to find out as much as I can about the other side of the house because all three of these jurors that are here were playing the other side. And I would just like to know some intel about what was being orchestrated over there, what was being done. Obviously, Kiefer was playing the middle the whole game. Braden was playing the middle the whole game. I know that Ty and Beth were back and forth at times. So I would just kind of like to hear the information from their side, from their point of view, what they were hearing from players that are still in the game. Because if they were cutting deals, if they were making plans that were out of my knowledge, I would like to hear that because those are all strategic moves that could go towards someone winning the game. Come
finale night, can you put emotion aside to award the right person that $100,000 check?
Absolutely. I said from the beginning, I'm not going to be an emotional player. I'm not going to be an emotional juror. So my decision will be completely objective. I'm going to look at the entire game. And emotions aside, I'm going to choose the player that best represents season 9. I think it was an amazing season, and I would hate for someone to represent it that doesn't really embody what the season was. So, yeah, when I'm sitting up there in finale, just best bet that I'm going to be voting for the person that played the best game.
Had you and Beth talked about pursuing things outside of the house before you left the house?
Yeah, like it was like one of those things that it was like an elephant in the room, obviously. Like we live across the country from each other, but we knew that our relationship was extremely strong. We had like a deep connection. It was very genuine, and I do really care about her, and I know she feels the same. So, yeah, once we get out of the house and out of this whole situation, we're gonna see how it goes. We're gonna try our best. We'll stay in contact, maybe a couple of visits and stuff, barring the travel restrictions, but. Yeah, I'm going to try my best to keep the relationship going. The worst comes to worst, we're going to be really good friends moving forward, and I can live with that.
And when it comes to Braden, Kiefer, and Tera's gameplay, who do you think is the biggest threat to win and why?
The biggest threat to win is going to be Kiefer, 100%. He's played the best game. Like, you got to give it to him. He's won competitions early in the game. He's performed well under pressure. He's been on the block multiple times and gotten himself out of that position. He's positioned himself perfectly when it comes to a social aspect. He's friends with everybody. He cooks dinner every single night. Everybody loves this guy, I swear to God. So he has put himself in a really good spot. And I think that if he's able to pick up a couple wins coming down here, he's going to be impossible to beat. So they got to watch out for that. And if they're smart, like I said, they're going to get him out.
Speed round. First thing that comes to mind. Are you ready?
All right, gotcha.
Here we go. Messiest house guest this season.
Oh, that's got to be Deshaun.
Who left the game too soon?
Latoya.
Who are you glad to have a hand in sending out the door, either home or to jury?
Austin.
Your favorite Big Brother Canada player of all time?
Oh, that's got to be Dane.
Who should Beth help take out of the game next if she wants to win it all?
Kiefer.
Which two house guests do you hope make final two?
I'd have to say Beth and Tera.
And I hope blank wins Big Brother Canada.
I gotta go with my girl Beth. Let's go.
Jedson, thanks, man. I can't wait for you to say your piece and help crown a champ come finale night.
All right, man. I appreciate you having me on.
See you, man.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, stay safe.